Excellent. So let's do that again. And share. Awesome. So this is Trello. Trello is a very free and awesome tool online used for managing collaborative teams from across different places. So for remote working, Trello is possibly the most powerful free online platform there is for managing teams, managing classes, managing anything, even holidays. So what I have for my GAP students is I have this GAP board, but I also have a board for each and every one of my clients. So as soon as I onboard a client, like the school bus, which is one of my newest clients, they are a honeysucker here in Hilton. And we've been putting together a website / landing page and some social media platforms and some social media campaigns that are targeted at people in Hilton that are homeowners. And so far we've spent 500 Rand and they've had 6 people book. So we've made I think it's about a 14,000 Rand profit on our ad spend so far, which is fantastic. So yeah, I have boards for everything. What we're focused on today is my GAP Academy lecture. So this is how I've been managing my GAP students for 2020. Each year I create a new GAP board, and as the term goes on, I can copy and paste previous lecture plans from previous year's boards and then just adjust them slightly to accommodate the needs and interests of my students for that year. Another awesome thing that I get them to do, which helps me to learn which faces belong to which names, is I get them to put selfies onto their own little Trello boards, onto their little Trello cards, and this enables me to know who's done what and who likes what. I also ask them to add a few things about videos that they're interested in, which is a really nice way of getting insight into the people that they're about, because I'm sure during the first week or so of GAP they get asked the same questions over and over and over again. So this is just a nice different way of interacting and creating a platform where the principal isn't a part of this platform, it's just me and the kids, and we can be as real and as silly buggers as we like to on here. At the moment, I reconfigured our lesson structure, which was usually done like this. As soon as we had to jump online, I created a new system for us where we are now. Each of them have created a website, and they've learned how to log on and edit their websites. So those are all Brochure websites. Today, my main focus is an introduction to e-commerce and online selling strategies. So where we've been before is we have designed a Brochure website. And what I'd like to talk to you all about today is e-commerce websites. And this main difference between the two is that e-commerce websites can accept money. Brochure websites are basically an online brochure showing people what you can do. And they're a lead generation because you want people to fill in a contact form. But besides that, there's not really much they can do in terms of earning you money directly. You have to follow up and nurture your leads that you get from Brochure websites in order to convert them into cash dollar. So that's the biggest difference between a Brochure website and an e-commerce website. There are a variety of different kinds of e-commerce websites. So you can decide whether you want to create an e-commerce website yourself, or if you want to piggyback off somebody else's e-commerce website. And you can also decide whether you want to sell your own products or you want to become a brand ambassador for products that you're interested in. So there are a whole lot of different avenues and revenues and strategies for creating an online revenue in this day and age. I'm going to quickly show you. Oh, I should probably put that on silent, sorry. I'm going to quickly show you the difference between a Brochure website. So AppCity's website is currently a Brochure website. I do have a paid page, but I use that just for people when they're signing up for workshops. 99.9% of the time, my website does not generate any transactions. So it is just a Brochure website telling people about who I am and what me and my team can do for them. The Leather Shop is a website that I built hand in hand with one of my clients last year. So this is a gentleman that had a shop that was paying way too much rent, and his rent kept on increasing and he couldn't keep up with it. So what he started doing is we started taking pictures and we put together a few little videos, and I taught his son how to then create this online shop. this model here is actually my gardener Knowledge, my right-hand man here at the homestead, and he did a fabulous job of modeling this. So this website for this client took 3 sessions of 2 hours, which is the equivalent of 3,000 Rand, because my time is 1,000 Rand an hour. So for 3,000 Rand, he managed to open a new online store, and now this online store is actually generating him more income than his other shop, which has currently got its doors closed, was generating in the last few months. So just to show you that going online does not have to be super expensive. If you do it hand in hand with somebody that's showing you every step of the way, like the AppCity approach and other digital marketing agencies do it like that, then you have got the power to market and change it and change your prices and put things on sale yourself, which is a very important thing. This is another e-commerce website that I've designed. I did this client's logo and everything. Again, also taught the client how to load and take off products themselves, how to put them into categories. So there are their different categories, and also obviously how to market it. So I hope you all understand the main difference between a brochure website and an e-commerce website, and also the difference between somebody selling their own products. So for example, these products are made by Skin Docs, which is my client. So they've branded them, they've paid for the research to go into the serums and stuff that they sell. Those are their products. Whereas the leather shop imports leather jackets from overseas and resells them at a profit. So there are a variety of different business models. And then there's also drop shipping, which means that you don't even stock the inventory. So drop shipping basically means that you become a brand ambassador. And I urge you, if you're interested in drop shipping, to go and watch a few little videos on it. Basically, what's happening is that you're just a marketing platform. A warehouse is holding your inventory and you're marketing it directly to your client. So your client orders through you, but you never hold the stock. The stock goes straight from your distributor to your client, and you just facilitate that transaction at a profit, which makes sense, especially if it's stuff that you're super passionate about. Right, so moving on. The first step to creating an online income. The first step is to make sure that you choose something that you're interested in, that you love, that you're passionate about, because if you want to just make money, you're not going to make money. If you're out there to just make a profit and it doesn't come from a place of interest, it's never going to happen, because you really need to be convincing, and you need to convince yourself, and you need to convince other people, and you'll be basically living a lie, and this life is not a dress rehearsal. So why sell things that you're not interested in? That's what I believe as well. It's my philosophy in life. You're only really going to make it work if you're doing something that you dig. The easiest way to get somebody to do a good job is to get them to want to do it, which is unfortunate, but reality. So that's the first important step, is make sure that if you're interested in, like Tamsin is interested in paramedics and the healthcare industry, that her idea that creating an online income around managing data and information that needs to move between people in this industry, and there is a lot of money to be made in that. So that's a really nice niche in alignment with her passion, and it's something that she could really start to generate some decent online income from. So once you've found something that you're passionate about, or you know who you are and what you're passionate about, then create a little mind map of ideas. There are 11 different avenues for revenue online, and if you start to unpack what people have and haven't done and position yourself in a way that nobody's done it before, even if you're selling us to an Inuit, if you're selling it with enough charisma, that others saying, sell the sizzle, not the sausage, that goes back for generations and it's still true today. Selling something you're passionate about is super, super duper easy. And then making sure that you're selling it in a way that hasn't been done, that becomes a little bit more challenging. But the more you know about yourself, and the more you harness the fact that people buy stories, people buy personality, people do business with people. Businesses don't do business with businesses. It's always human beings at the end of the line, at the end of the day. So do a bit of research around the things that are available. So there's two main avenues here that I've split the rest of this lecture into. The first half is if you're wanting to sell somebody else's products or services online. And the other aspect is if you're wanting to sell your own products or services online. Once I've unpacked both of those two things, I'm going to look at how we then market, because marketing, regardless of which avenue you take or which path you take from there, marketing sort of comes back into the middle. So we'll move on to how to market your online store. And then if we still have a little bit of time at the end, I will talk you through some real life case examples of things that are under construction, as well as something that's been live and kicking and seems to be selling out on a week-to-week basis now. So that's where we're going to go from here. So the first steps to selling someone else's products or services. First of all, it is very, very important to do some market research. There are a lot of fly-by-nights out there. There are a lot of people that are out there to scam people out of their hard-earned money. There are actually people on the dark web that you can hire to scam people out of their money on your behalf and then pay them for it and keep the money. It's a very scary world out there. So before you jump into bed with any brand or product or service, go and do extensive research. Use Google terms like reviews and bad reviews and honest reviews about or for. Do reviews if you find reviews that are comparing your brand with others. Do more reviews of Wix versus Weebly, for example, American Apparel versus American Eagle for apparel, basically. So there's a lot of people that have had the bad experiences for you, and there's no need for you to go and make the same mistakes, because I promise you, when people have bad experiences, they tell people about it. So there are a lot of people. Go and look on Hello Peter. It's a very important thing. Go and check Hello Peter before you sign up to be a white label distributor of a white label brand of any kind. I have been caught so badly by signing up before doing enough research. So when I started AppCity, I signed up for a platform called SapSumo. And SapSumo looked really great. I did a bit of research. It all looked okay. I did interviews with the owners. I was going to start the first SapSumo branch in South Africa. And I did. I built my first SapSumo app, my second SapSumo app, my third SapSumo app. And then suddenly SapSumo's support team stopped answering me. And that meant that I couldn't service my clients. And then I was caught in this really difficult place where I've developed an app and I couldn't make any changes to it on behalf of my client because I'm stuck with people that aren't answering any support tickets. And yet they're still debiting the 3,200 Rand per month for each of those apps that I'm running. So just be really careful, because getting out of situations like that is a lot more difficult than it is getting into them. Research. And if you're not sure, go and ask on some platforms. Ask on, if you're going into for example, with Tamsin's example, if you're going into creating something that's going to add value to the people in the medical industry, go and chat on some medical forums online and see, is this problem that you're solving actually a problem? Is the way that you're going about solving the problem a way that actually makes sense to them? Or is it something that just makes sense to you? Getting people to understand you, especially when your concepts are unique, can be kind of tricky. That's really, very important. Research. The other important piece of advice that I have for selling somebody else's product or services online is to just start with one platform. If you find, for example, I've been given an opportunity to sell face masks. So I quickly made a landing page for face screens. So I had no idea whether these things have gone through ISO accredited standards, if my client would be able to fulfill them in time, and all of that stuff when I launched this. It's very important when you launch something and you're selling something on behalf of somebody else to just do it slowly and carefully. So start with one platform. So I started with this platform, which is a 2,500 Rand landing page. So it doesn't have any e-commerce, but it can generate some orders from this order form at the bottom. So as soon as this started to generate orders, then I started to invest a little bit more time and effort into it. But I will then invest in putting it onto Takealot, perhaps even onto Amazon, putting these products. And the better it does, the more platforms, and the better my clients or my business partners become at fulfilling those orders, the happier I will be to expand out onto different platforms. So just slowly catchy monkey is basically the bit of advice here. Start with one platform, get accustomed to it. In order to get something onto Takealot, you actually have to answer a whole lot of questions. There's a whole series of webinars that you have to go through, and you can't go to the next section until you've answered questions on the first section. So they actually educate you on how to Takealot before they let you become a seller. And that's great, because it means that it's creating a quality platform, and you want to be a part of quality platforms. So if there isn't a difficult onboarding process, just make that a siren in your head that the quality of the outcome is not going to be as good. The more difficult it is to get onto something, the better you know that it's managed, because they are all about quality. If it's really easy, then there are going to be a lot of fly-by nights and a lot of junk being sold. And that means that your awesomeness is going to be watered down in amongst non-awesomeness, which is not what you want. So once you've created one platform, for example, launched a product, let me just use my Sydney example, Takealot. So I've been given this opportunity to be a reseller of this water filter called Sydney 905 water filters. And so I just started with Takealot. Now I'm in the process of putting it onto an online shop and onto Amazon. But at the moment, this filter is you're only able to purchase it through Takealot. Then I have a sliding scale of the amount of commission that I sell, depending on the number of units that are sold. So getting it onto Takealot took me about 20 hours. It's not a joke. I don't consider myself a slow person. So give yourself some time and give yourself some teething time when you're jumping online. Once you've done that, so once I created this product, once I managed to get this product listed on Takealot, I then started to create a bit of hype around it. So I created a Facebook campaign. So I use a platform called business.facebook.com. Obviously first created a Facebook page, and Facebook page had 0 likes. And my first Facebook campaign was a page like campaign. So I targeted people that are interested in sustainability, in water purification, water treatments, agricultural upliftments, social economic upliftment, all of those kinds of people, because this kind of filter can fit onto any tap and it can be a game changer. I really do believe it is going to be a game changer in society, especially in the lower LSM groups. So just to fill the gap, so what we've done here is I created the product on Takealot just once, not on all of the other platforms. Then I created a little bit of hype around it using targeted strategic online marketing through Facebook and Instagram. So I'm just going to show you that quickly. We're doing for time, good. While we're on the topic of reselling other people's products. And you have to excuse my wonderfully slow internet today. And here's businesses. And we'll go to Sydney. Here. Okay, so I spent, this is my first ad spend. I spent 500 Rand and I got 489 likes. So the page likes cost around 21 cents per like. Oh, I actually turned off this first campaign. So I got that amount of likes for 100 Rand, because usually likes are a lot more expensive than that. But I know that everybody that's following this page now has got an invested interest in this brand, which means that it's gone from 0 page likes to 500 page likes of people that have got potential of doing business with this brand. So if I go back one, let's go find the other retargeting. Sydney. Retargeting. Oh, there's been a lot. Okay, let's just search for it in a different way. Sydney, take one. Oh, now this whole thing is frozen. Where is it gone? It's hiding. Sydney, they're retargeting. Okay, so let's pull that into this. Okay, so now we did a retargeting. So I did a video view campaign because video view is the cheapest way of advertising. And we got 18,000 through plays of a little short video that I created for 500 Rand. So that was really, really good. People watched just over 50%, which is phenomenal. I don't know how people actually watched 131% of a video. That means that some people watched that first video more than once, I reckon. But yeah, so that's what I mean by creating a bit of hype. So we created a targeted campaign, then I retargeted those people that had liked this Facebook page because I know that they're people that resonate with the brand, plus a lookalike audience for a video view campaign. And the results have been cheap and phenomenal. So we have been generating sales through the Takealot. So all of these campaigns take people to the Takealot and they can go and buy there. Very exciting stuff, isn't it? So you got to do research. You got to start with one platform. You got to create some hype around your offer and then do some free online courses. There's a lot of them available. If you still love selling this stuff after 3 months of doing it on one platform, then start opening out onto different platforms, because the more platforms you're on, the more admin you'll have. And I don't know about you, but I'm allergic to admin. So that's my advice, selling for other people. Right? So what's next is the first steps of how to sell your own products or services online. Right. First of all, research. Do some research and determine how you're going to position yourself that makes you unique. What problem are you solving, or what desire are you fulfilling? Those are the only two ways of marketing in the world. I like to go for the jugular and let people almost bleed out and then be like, oh, I'm here to save you. That's one approach. Then the other approach is like, ooh, isn't this nice? Look at all of the benefits that I will be able to see for lots more years without having to wear glasses because of these blue, like this. That's a desire thing. It's not a necessity. So, I mean, actually, you could go about that on both. That you could actually go about selling these from both. Going for the jugular, your eyes will be deteriorating. You spend an average of 14 hours a day looking at a screen. Don't you think it's best that you should reflect some of the blue back, yo? Anyway, so see how you can position yourselves differently, and who's doing what out there, and make sure that it isn't too flooded, like a competition isn't too flooded. And if it is too flooded, are people doing it all the same way? Because even if it is too flooded, if you're a little bit different, and it's not difficult to be different, because majority of stuff online is regurgitated. Very, very few people create their own content. Coffee shops are really good at it. Coffee shops are pretty good. And beauty and aesthetics places are also fairly good at creating their own content and putting it out there, not just reposting memes and reposting other stuff. And it's not that difficult to be authentic, because not many people are. So do a bit of research, find what problem you're solving, what desire you're fulfilling, and then go and start doing a bit of research about a domain name. So you don't want to come up with this fantastic idea and then your domain name isn't actually even available, or your brand name that you've designed a logo for and all of that stuff isn't available. Use GoDaddy or any kind of online searcher for searching for domains. But if you want to buy a domain, give me a shout, because mine are much cheaper than they are on here. So go and do a domain search, check if your domain exists or not, and then decide, cool, I'm ready to call my brand blah blah blah. So I hope that makes sense. Don't create a brand unless you know that domain name, the www.bunsawesomeness.com is available. Is it? We don't know. Yeah, it's available. Now I can create a brand around that. You see what I mean, yo? Okay. So found an easy, so that wasn't a very easy to remember name, but you just get the vibe of what I'm saying, hey? Now that you've created a brand name for yourself, you can go and create a logo for free, or you can outsource that onto Fiverr, onto Upwork. There's loads of people that do logos for super duper cheap, or you can build one yourself. You just go onto Canva. So AppCity's logo was made on Canva. SkinDoc's logo was made on Canva, this SD one. My Midlands logo was made on Canva. Coffee shop apps, Knowledge Herbs Bottles. I have done loads of logos on Canva. In fact, I think I've got a little slider on my website of all of the logos I've created on Canva. And what's nice is that it takes a very short amount of time. Most of these logos are designed, I sit side by side with my clients. There they are. Dr. Aesthetic, Honey Park, Decor Culture, all of these. There's the Skin Docs, damn it. Yeah, should actually add some of my new ones to here. All of those were created on this beautiful place called Canva. So Canva, just go and type in logo, click on logo, click on blank, and you'll have a little templates thing up here, and there'll be templates per industry even. Here you can create pretty much any kind of logo in the world. Look at all of that. How splendid. Once you've designed your logo, you can download it and you can create your business card. If you're going to be going to business networking meetings and stuff, there's business card templates, email signature designs. It works. I design pretty much everything, even the graphics for my email marketing campaigns. I design everything on Canva. I even design my costing proposals. So even proposals that I send, yeah, like this, DNR animation proposal. Yeah, basically everything. All of my stuff is designed on Canva. So you don't have to even pay. You can always rebrand later when you've made some money. So let's go back to Trello. Create a brand and tell people about it. Ask people, what did they think? Check this out, guys. This is what I've made. You're a lot less alone in this world than you think. And trust me, I know that because I reach out often. And if I didn't, I would feel completely alone in this world. Start with your social medias. That's not supposed to be a you, it's supposed to be a your. Start with your social media platforms because they're free, and generate some hype with your community. Even if it feels like people are ignoring you 99% of the time, just do it anyway. So when I walk down the street, well, when I used to be able to walk down the street or at the supermarket or whatever, people often say to me, I really like your online presence, or I like that thing that you did on Watch Me Wine about straws, or I like that, Tech Tip Tuesday about using WhatsApp web that you did. Even though they don't comment or like or share or any of that stuff, when you look at my personal page, and I don't get a lot of traction. It's only on these paid campaigns where I'm spending money, and I'm spending money on targeting people, that I'm getting results. But regardless, I still share things on my personal. So 3 people. That's one of my friends, D. So she's put that on my page and I've allowed it. Anyway, that's not going to load, but you'll see if you go and look at my page, I don't generally get more than 3 or 4 likes or 1 or 2 comments, and that's about it. But I don't really care. I just do it anyway. It can't be about the ego, these things. You got to just keep on keeping on, and know that when you want real results, you have to spend money to make money, basically. That's the way the cookie crumbles in the world. But you can start generating some hype for free, and then start generating money by spending money. Cool. Then it's time to decide, once you've done some of the stuff, whether you're going to put your product that you're selling or your service that you're selling onto somebody else's online shop, or you're going to develop your own. There are a lot of different online shop platforms. Shopify is possibly the most popular. There's another one called BigCommerce that I really like. BigCommerce. See, Shopify is spending more money on their advertising because they've actually come up above BigCommerce. Naughty. But yeah, BigCommerce is a little bit more complicated than Shopify, but the more complicated, the further into strategic targeted marketing you can go. Shopify is fantastic though. The only problem with it is that I think it starts off at $39 or $29 a month that you have to pay. So you get a 14-day free trial. It's difficult to make your first $29, yeah. So it's difficult to make. So you've got to start making more than $29 a month in profit, not turnover, to make a profit. So at the moment, with our wonderful exchange rate, that's 515 Rand rent a month that you've got to pay before you start making a profit. So the pros and cons of using Shopify is that Shopify has got a lot of automating, a lot of bells and whistles that makes your life a little bit simpler. It's got less customization ability when it comes to designing the layouts, but you've got a lot of layouts to choose from, so that's also okay. But with WooCommerce, you pay for your development of your online shop, like that leather shop that I showed you and Skin Docs, for example. There are no monthly costs involved with WooCommerce. You have per transaction costs with WooCommerce. So if you're looking at developing an online shop, basically you can either put your products onto something like Takealot and sell it there and promote people on your social media pages to go directly to your Takealot checkout pages, or you create a shop using a platform like BigCommerce or Shopify that's got lots of easy, this is how you add products and that sort of stuff, or you design a WordPress website and you use a plugin called WooCommerce, which has also got a lot of extra bells and whistles that you can attach for it, for dynamic pricing, like economies of scale pricing and all sorts of stuff like that. It depends on what you're selling. It depends on how much time you're willing to put into learning and doing. Yeah, it depends on you. It really does. I personally, because I've made expensive mistakes when I started my business, I don't like making expensive mistakes anymore. So personally, I always go for the WooCommerce option because there's no ongoing cost. There's only a per transaction cost. And getting into ongoing cost before you're making ongoing income is a very dangerous place to be in. PayFast versus PayPal. In South Africa, I highly recommend that we use PayFast. It's a fantastic South African product. Well, it's actually a PayGate product, but PayGate, you need a merchant bank account, and I don't want to confuse you with all of the financial side of things. But basically, if you're selling locally, PayFast is fantastic. You're selling internationally, PayPal is also cool, and you can actually have both as available options on your checkout. You don't have to just have one, but for South African shops, PayFast is the way to go. Courier guy versus others. In my personal experience, which is obviously all I ever speak from, in my personal experience, the courier guy in South Africa have been the best out of the various different clients that I've used various different courier services. The courier guy has had the best turnaround time and the best customer service. So once all of those are done, you string it together. So I didn't want that last thing to be there. Let me delete it. Cool. So those are the first steps that you got to think of. Right. Then what you do is, once you've decided on all of these things, is that you string it together. So you string your courier service, your payment portal, and your online store together. So those three things go shoop, and then boom, you have an online store ready to go. So then we have got 1 minute to cover these things, which is very little time, but it's all good. And I have actually covered one or two of these while we've been at it. Right, so digital marketing strategies that work. Decide on a target market. Then we got to create content that resonates with that target market. So if you're targeting females, use pretty female things and pretty female words. If you're targeting men, then use more masculine everything. Imagery, words, font, size, all of that jazz. We want to create content that resonates with the people that we're creating it for, to get them from not knowing us at all, like with the Sydney 905 water filters. Nobody knew about Sydney 905 water filters. They knew. Now people know a little bit about them because we've done a page like campaign, and they're starting to like them because they're watching videos. Once I've moved them from knowing the brand to liking the brand to trusting the brand, once they're in this stage, they're ready to part with their hard-earned cash dollar. Until then, it's like walking into a bar and asking someone to marry you. Doesn't really work. Well, maybe in Vegas. Retargeting is where 74% of online retail takes place, which is why you can see in this retargeting strategy here that I've spent this 500 Rand. I've got a lot more traction for that retargeting. And when I do the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, the cost per conversion is going to become smaller and smaller, and my reach is going to become more and more in alignment with the target audience that I want to be targeting. The reason for that is that I'm retargeting people that have watched this video plus a lookalike audience, retargeting people that have engaged with this Facebook page plus a lookalike audience. So I'm organically growing my audience with people that have got a high probability of wanting to do business with this brand because they're very similar to the people that are already doing business with this brand. That makes sense, doesn't it? So decide on your target market, create content that resonates with it. Move them into a space when they're getting more ready for you to marry them. And to do that, you just got to retarget them and retarget them and retarget them, and use video, because video is the cheapest form of advertising on the face of the planet at the moment. And video before lockdown was 86% of the consumption of the global internet. I would cringe to know what it is now. Probably close to 98%, I believe, especially with all of these webinars and videos and stuff that's going on. So video is cheap because people like video. And like I said earlier, it's easy to be authentic. The easiest way to sell is to create a story around what you're selling and be authentic about it. And it's not difficult to be authentic because a lot of people are just regurgitating other people's ideas to try identify their own personality and other people's memes or other people's experiences that aren't truly them, that aren't truly theirs. So make your own content, be authentic, own your brand, and it will shine. And I hope that this has been a good introduction to e-commerce and online selling strategies. Thanks for coming, guys. How's that? I'll stop my recording now. I'm hiding. Stop.